What is cracking, everybody? It is MegapiemanPHD here with another GamesMatter event, this time for November 14th, 2014. Today we are going to be talking with Nomadic Studios about their game Square Heroes. So how you guys doing today?
Yeah,
Hey.
good thing. Yeah.
Hey, hi,
Right.
how's it going?
Excellent.
So we have our Aranda and Mark from Nomadic Studios here with us today. I don't know how big your team is, but is it just the two of you who mainly work on the game, or do you have a larger team?
Yeah, it's sort of three of us, really. Myself, Mark, and Scott, who's the artist. Mark and myself are the programmers. Just quickly correct your pronunciation. We're called Gnomic Studios.
Oh, that's my bad.
Yeah, that's all right. No worries. And I'm Aranda.
Alright. I apologize. I called you Armanda. Oh, that's horrible. Alright, I apologize about that. We'll try and get
It's all
everything
good.
down. We'll try to get everything down before that. But this is a GamesMatter event, so that means that throughout the entire interview, Indie Gamer Chick will be giving away copies of this game, that is Square Heroes. She'll be giving them away over her Twitter, that is at Indie Gamer Chick. So if you would like a chance to try to grab a copy of this game, feel free to check out her tweets that are going out sometime around now, and she will be giving these away until she runs out of copies. It is not a contest, but a first come, first serve kind of thing. So if you want it, get it as quickly as you possibly can. Also, volumes are the easiest thing to fix when it comes to live streaming, so if there is any volumes that need to be changed, if I'm too loud, if I'm too quiet, if dev's too loud, dev's too quiet, game too loud, game too quiet, let me know, and we will do what we can to try to accommodate as many people as possible. As well, if anybody in chat has any questions about the game that we'll be showing off today, feel free to ask those in the chat, and I will do the best I can to try to keep up with those and pass those on to the developers. So, why don't we start talking about just what Square Heroes is?
All right, sure. All right, well, it's a comic arena shooter, and it's kind of a bit like it's focused around deathmatch, really, online multiplayer deathmatch games, and it's actually a sequel to a game called Square Off, which was on Xbox Live Indie Games. You might have seen it on there. That was more of a single-player focused sort of alien survival shooter, a little bit like maybe Left 4 Dead, but in a 2.5D sort of arena. And yeah, everyone said they really wanted online multiplayer, so that's what we did for Square Heroes.
So that's cool to see, because there's not really that many games out there anymore that offer both online and offline multiplayer. You'll see a lot of games that do online, and you got this kind of weird surge in the indie marketplace recently to do a lot of local-only co-op games with stuff like Towerfall, Samurai Gun, and other games like that. But it's nice to see a game that does both local co-op as well as online co-op.
Yeah, well, I suppose probably the main reason is the online multiplayer is actually pretty hard to do. You got to put a fair bit of work into it to get it right. And our roots were the local multiplayer on the Xbox indie games, so we didn't want to abandon that. And yeah, actually, one interesting feature of it is that you can do both at the same time. So you could have a couple of mates playing locally and then join up an online game together, which we think is a pretty cool feature, of course.
Yeah, that is really cool. The last thing that I can think of that I saw that had that would maybe be, was that Call of Duty Black Ops that had online split screen? You don't see a lot of games try to do that kind of thing, so it's always cool to see that happening, just so you get more players. That way, if you want to play with a bunch of people, but you've only got 2 people to play locally, you can then go online with it, or if you want to play online, don't have anyone to play locally at all, you can just go online with that, or you can just play locally with that, depending upon who you have around with you. Now, this game is only on the PC right now, and only available on Desura, or is it available elsewhere?
It's shortly going to be available on Humble Store, actually. Actually, no, I believe you can get it right now on our website through the Humble widget, and as well as the Humble store coming soon. And you might see it in some bundles. Keep your eye out for like bundles floating around. But yeah, they'll be mainly through the Daysura version. Yep.
You guys also have a current Steam Greenlight campaign to try to get the game onto Steam. So that would be really cool, especially
yes.
since you can then integrate a lot of the Steam works when it comes to online multiplayer. Since, I don't know if does Daysura have its own kind of thing like that, or are you guys running this game off of your own system?
Daysura doesn't have many of those sort of those. Yeah, so we've got our own server, and that'll track all your achievements and your profile and stuff like that. And the matchmaking is through our own server. And you're right though. Once we get on Steam, which we're sure will happen before too long. We'll be integrating with their achievements and matchmaking and stuff. So, yeah, that should be great.
Alright. So you have both online and offline play right now. So if I wanted to, I could actually go to tournament mode, which would allow me to play one person against a bunch of bots through a little bit of story. It's not like super in-depth story, but there is some nice comedy thrown into the mix. Or we could actually go online. So I believe there is a game actually up right now. Actually, there's not. I thought there was. It says down here at the bottom, Internet Games 1, so I thought there was one. But we didn't actually create a game.
Yeah, I was just playing in that one, and the host has just quit, unfortunately, so...
That's alright. We can make a game here, and we can pick through all the different modes and maps that we have available. So, since there's not... You can put bots on and off, and what's the max amount of players in this game? Is it a max 4?
You can do 4 locally, but when you get to online mode, the maps will support 6. So you can have 6 people, 6 different computers, or potentially 3 from one computer and 2 from another and 1 from another. Mm-hmm. But 6 in total in online mode. All right.
We've got a couple modes to play through here. You have your basic deathmatch, which is a free-for-all, team deathmatch, whereas teams, gnome hunt, and team gnome hunt. So you plus the survival mode. I didn't actually see that before, since I was only playing through tournaments. So you can actually do just an online survival mode if that's something that you want to go for.
That's right. That's kind of the co-op mode, really. So the rest are sort of there are the PvP modes, and survivals is kind of like the old square off mode where the aliens actually turn against you, because normally the aliens are really just a way to collect loot, and you kill them, you get bounties, and you unlock weapons. Uh-huh. But in survival mode, they turn nasty, and you have to fend them off for as long as you can.
Actually, it does feature in the tournament right at the end. If you get to the last level, the Alien King turns the aliens against you, and that's a pretty epic battle, completely different to the rest of the tournament. Yeah,
because in most of the tournament, you're just basically playing bot matches.
Exactly, yeah, with a bit of dialogue thrown in, and the special characters as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we took our lead from Unreal Tournament there.
Alright, so let's get a basic deathmatch started here, and then we can work on changing the mode later on. If I wanted to, can I change the mode while I'm already in a match, or would I have to actually exit that match, create another one, and pick the different game mode from there?
That is correct, yes. Unfortunately, at this stage, you do have to exit to switch modes. That's something we're looking to update. Yeah, so we're thinking of a way around that, but for a future update. But at the moment, yes, you do have to exit to switch modes.
Alright, because I was just wondering, because you do have map rotation on. So let's start up a deathmatch here on Snow and get into the game. Hopefully it'll actually be showing up for you guys when I get started. It's up now, so if you check the browser, you should see it. Anybody who's in chat who would be interested in joining us, feel free to do so. And we can actually get some more people playing around until we get a full batch of 6 people. Now, one of the really cool things about Square Heroes is that you actually have this unlockable loadout system that you can pick as you go throughout the entirety of the game of the weapons that you can actually use in the main game. And unlike other games where you would automatically start with all of those weapons, or where you would, have to go grab weapons throughout the entire area, The main thing about Square Heroes is just trying to kill as many of these aliens as you can find around the map to get as much money as possible so you can actually buy your different weapons.
You got the umbrella hat. I
just unlocked it. I was playing through a bit of the tournament mode and just unlocked a whole bunch of crap.
Yep, you get the hats with the different achievements. So your double kill, your triple kill, your mega kill, your devastation. I don't think anyone's got that hat yet, but that's what, 5 kills in a row?
Yeah, no, I saw someone get a devastation just the other night, actually.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. That's probably the hardest achievement of all.
What do you have to do to, oh, that's 5 kills. Oh, jeez, 5 in a row. I could imagine that would maybe be a little bit easier when you're doing something like the tournament mode, but trying to get that in an actual multiplayer game is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, you need a 6-player match for a start. So.
Yeah. Well, there's sort of a 3-second, I think it's 3-second gap between the kills for it to be counted as, you know, like a multi-kill. So, you know, it's not completely unachievable. It's just challenging.
One of the things that... No, I don't want to die again! Dang it! Everyone's leveling up so quick. And that's the really cool thing about this game, is that it's really focused around just getting as much money as possible to get your weapons as quickly as you possibly can. And you only have so much you can fire. You have to worry about ammo limits as well as your health limit, because the red bar above your character is your health, your blue meter is how much ammo you actually have, and the yellow meter that's under that is how close you are to leveling up into unlocking another weapon to use. And there's a good variety of weapons. The more you unlock, the more powerful weapon you get. You start with a melee weapon that's not all that great, and then you can actually get like a pistol, a shotgun, an explosive weapon. How many weapons do you actually have in the game at the moment?
It's 34, I believe. That counts quite a few different melee weapons as well. But yeah, in total, yeah, I think like 16 guns from memory, and actually no, yeah, about 20 guns and 14 melee, I think is the count. Yeah.
I'm starting to notice that there's a big difference between playing tournament mode and playing online against actual people, because in tournament mode, I was kicking all kind of butt, and I have done nothing but die so far in online multiplayer.
Yeah, it is challenging. Like, we're finding that ourselves, actually. You think as developers of the game, you'd be able to get online and own people left, right, and center, but actually, it's quite surprising how good people are.
Yeah,
I think players are better at quickly working it out and practicing the tactics, whereas developers, you're looking at looking at subtle bugs or something.
Get distracted trying to see how you can improve it.
Oh, you blew yourself up. That's one of the things that I have kind of not liked so far about this game, is you have explosive weapons, but it's so easy to kill yourself with them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's the danger of using them, right, with high responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, great power, great responsibility, definitely. And that's kind of a bit of the balancing as well, because you obviously don't want the explosive weapons to completely dominate the earlier weapons. So one of the balancing things in there is the ammo. So you share your ammo. Your lower weapons use less ammo per shot, and explosive weapons, you don't get that many shots until you have to go and grab an ammo pickup.
I am not a fan of the crossbow. I can tell you that is really hard to use. It does not do that much.
Yeah. The aiming is a bit tricky on that. Are you using a gamepad or a mouse?
I'm using keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, okay. Yes, you might be... Oh, actually, it all depends what you prefer. It's quite powerful, though, so if you might be at 3 shots and they're... Oh. 3 or 4 shots and they're dead.
Yeah, some of the explosives actually get really powerful, such as someone who's got the Molotov and is completely wrecking everybody's face.
Oh yeah, that's me, sorry. Oh, I just got taken out there.
One of the things that I really like about Square Heroes is how it looks, where you've combined the 2D characters with the 3D environment. Was that something that you specifically wanted to do, or was that just something you were experimenting on until you found out that it looked really cool?
That's sort of been our style right back since Square Off began. that's probably down to our artist Scott's creativity, really. So yeah, we did go for that design. Like actually the 3D backgrounds were kind of done because it's almost quicker and easier to create them that way. So he's a 3D artist and a great 2D artist, obviously. But I think he was quite familiar, quite quick with the 3D, so he could actually build the environments quite easily. And yeah. So the characters are essentially just 2D planes in the 3D world. Obviously with some beautiful comic art on them, of course.
I won!
I unlocked a new hat! I love that this game has hats. I have to respect a good game with hats. Even more so the fact that the hats actually influence things that's going on, such as the hat that I currently have actually allows me to take less damage to... Well, it used to have. I don't know what the new one does. But one of the hats I had allowed me to take less damage to explosives and change things around like that as well. So it makes them not only a nice, awesome fashion statement to unlock, but it actually makes them worthwhile to use.
Yes, the hat perks. We put those in fairly late in development. Well, we always were planning it because we knew that we didn't want to have it like solely cosmetic. We wanted to make it a bit more interesting, a reason to switch hats and stuff. Yeah, you had to be a little bit careful. Didn't want to make the perks OP or anything.
So
I choose my hat purely on cosmetic basis, though.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who do. Since
It's true.
some of the hats, even though they might be offering some good perks, I don't necessarily know how much I want to go around with a tiara on my head,
Yeah, it is fun to mix and match like the nice combinations between your hat and your melee weapon.
Holy crap! How did I not die there?
See, I've got the Viking helmet and the battle axe here, so...
Yeah, that's something that I'm also
Look,
noticing
pretty
really influences some of the balancing. When you try to work with the melee weapons, since the melee weapon is the weapon you start with, you will always have some kind of a melee weapon. Some of them are really, really powerful, and some of them just aren't.
Yeah, so with that, the way that's balanced a little bit is that the less powerful ones are lighter, so they actually have a faster rate of attack, so you can get more hits in, which has some advantages, but I think, yeah, you're right. Ultimately, if you've got a higher damage melee weapon, it's a bit of an advantage there.
There's another statistic in there which is quite subtle, is that with the heavier ones, when you do use them, you slow down for a bit longer. So if you're chasing someone and you hit, if you strike your weapon, you slow down for longer than you would with the light weapon, say the chicken, which I've got, which has got the higher rate of fire but lower damage, and it slows me down less when I'm moving. So there's some subtle things in there as well, with quite a high skill depth.
Yeah, watch out for Mark. He just flies around spamming his chicken. Take that. Oh, eat my battle axe.
You gotta watch out for this Beta Vera guy. I think he's our most popular player. I don't know if he's on the stream, if he found us, or he's just playing anyway. I think he's put most hours into this game, yeah.
Oh, goody.
So we've got the best player in the world in the match, I think.
Well, that's fantastic because I have no ammo. And that's one of the things that it's very interesting about the game, because the gameplay it reminds me a lot of something like a arena shooter, more than it does any kind of 2D game I played. Maybe a little bit like a game called Soldat, if you've ever heard of that game. But it reminds me a lot of an arena shooter because of just how it's really, really focused on movement more than a lot of anything else. And you also have to go around and collect the different ammunition and life throughout the area, and they're on a respawn timer, which sometimes is rather annoying when you really don't want to die. Oh man, that guy's flamethrowers is ridiculous.
He's got the proximity mines as well, so careful of those lying around the level. You can
keep an eye out for them.
I don't think I have any of that unlocked. What's the highest level you can actually get in this game?
30.
30?
At the moment. Yeah, we may be considering updates with higher...
Because I'm nowhere close to that. I think I'm 9. I think 9 is what I got to. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, how far through the tournament did you go?
I beat
Halfway
the
or-
first area on the left.
Okay, so
I'm
3
about-
levels in. Yeah.
I'm like, I think I'm 12 out of 19 areas.
Oh, the first on the left. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and that's got you to level 9. Okay. Yep. So you're gonna have to play some more online mode to level up.
Yeah.
Or I suppose you could, you know,
Just grind
you
through the
could switch
tournament mode.
Yeah. Or grind against bots. Play against bots to level yourself up, so you come into the online mode with some higher weapons. But no, you actually level up faster playing against people, because each kill is worth 5 XP, but bots are only worth 2.
Oh.
So, proximity mines, damn. Yeah, so if you interested in leveling up, you're definitely best playing online or local, against local
I
friends.
don't know how I didn't see that proximity mine. It was literally right in front of my face.
Yeah, there it is again.
We actually have a question here in chat. Carl Savant is requesting a bounty system so that he could put it on me because I was beating the pants off of him earlier today.
Cool. So how would that work?
I have no idea, but
Tell him to Carl. Tell us in the chat how you imagine that would work. That's interesting.
I would imagine it would be you could like click on somebody in your friends list and invite them to a game, and then or maybe something like I guess TF2's dueling system, where if you have a specific item, you can just duel a random player who's in the lobby.
Yeah. Okay. I think we may wait for Steam integration for that sort of thing, or because we don't actually have a friends system yet within our own server, within our own matchmaking and profile system. But that it would be a nice to have, because there's definitely an aspect of you start the game up and you're like, all right, who's online? I can see that you've got a little counter of how many gamers are online and how many online matches are running, but we don't really know if any of our friends are currently online.
18 and 5. Man, that guy is actually really good. Something I'm noticing here is that even though some of these pings are pretty high, such as Aranda's ping, which is 359, and No Match Me's ping is over 300 as well, so it's both you guys. Even though your pings are pretty high, I don't see you, like, skipping or jumping around the screen. Are you having much of lag issues on your sides?
No, it's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I haven't seen many problems at all. Maybe I'll let Mark talk about that, since he was the primary network programmer on this. Mark, you want to talk about your awesome work on the net code?
Yeah, sorry, I had it on mute. Yeah, I was the netcoder. Spent a couple years on it. It's been a long time coming, but we think we've got there. As you can see, it feels pretty lag-free, even though we're playing you from Perth, Western Australia. Where are you right now, actually?
I'm on the east coast of the United States, so that's a pretty big distance.
Okay, so you'll be right near where our matchmaking server is. It's in New York there, so.
I think you're about as far away from us as is possible.
Yeah, unless you're in the
Perfect. So that
and
actually
plays
really,
well.
yeah, that actually does a really good job of showing off how good your networking is, because we're able to play against each other pretty well, even though we're like on the other side of the globe from each other.
Yeah, you see the odd little pop here and there, but for the most part, it's not too bad. I mean, we certainly put a lot of effort and time into that. Yeah, it was probably the biggest part of what Mark's done for the last 2 years is that networking code, and he's written a whole sort of networking library from the ground up, really, which allows us to do things exactly how we want to, which is I think a big part of why it works so well.
We have another question here from, did you still have things to talk about the networking?
I was going to just tell you a bit about the technical details, maybe, if anyone's
All right, well, go ahead. It's your time to chat. If you got more to say,
it's
go ahead and say it.
peer-to-peer sort of topology, so that's the fastest way. Actually, multiplayer games have their different technologies. Dedicated servers are one. People usually like that. This uses peer-to-peer, actually, and the reason for that is it's the fastest way to tell another peer what's going on. so you don't have to go via a server. There are disadvantages of that as well, but we mitigated them using, pragmatic measures. So, yeah, we believe that getting things as fast as possible to the other player was the most important aspect for us, and yeah, it's working well.
Well, it seems to work, and that is awesome to see, because the worst thing you can have for a multiplayer game, no matter how fun it is bad networking. That was something that Nidhogg had a lot of problems with for a very, very long time. Even though it was a fun game to play, its networking was just made it impossible to try to do any online.
Okay, I haven't played that online. It's interesting, because that's a very twitchy sort of game. I can imagine it would be hard to make that work well online.
Yeah. But the question we have in chat is from Freakady, who asks, I believe it was, no, actually, it was from Greed Yo Bling Games, who asked, did you end up using visual scripting framework for the development of Square Heroes?
No.
We started with it, and in the end, since we were planning to have more story in the long run and a bigger sort of more fleshed out campaign mode, but in the end we didn't do that. In the end, we went with more of a tournament based campaign. So we didn't need the visual scripting framework, which, yeah, so we didn't end up going with it.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about another scripting thing. Sorry.
Is this game actually made on its own engine? Since you said that it started on the Xbox Live Marketplace, I would think maybe it would be something like the first one might have been like an XLA game or something like that?
XNA, yes.
XNA,
yeah,
yes,
that's right. And this is also, yes. Which does mean that it's its own engine. XNA is sort of, it's a framework, not an engine. So yeah, we sort of took the Square Off engine, which I wrote mostly for Square Off, and have just modded it and improved it as we developed this one. So we've got a bit of an editor, which is nowhere near as good as Unity's editor, of course, but the advantage, I guess, is that we've written the core of the engine, so we can, tailor it to our needs.
Have you thought about doing anything like releasing that editor to the public when you get to something like Steam, so people can make their own levels or maps?
We've thought about that. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but and obviously the editor being an internal thing, we've not made it, generally, noob and user friendly, so it would be a bit of work, but it's definitely, some level of user content generation would be really cool to have. We're not quite sure what we'll end up with though.
Yeah, especially when you have stuff like Steam Workshop, any kind of user community that you can try to get when it comes to that kind of thing is always beneficial to any kind of multiplayer game. I mean, look at Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is still hanging on after multiple years. And I can definitely say a lot of that is thanks to its ability for people to make maps and mods of it pretty easily.
Okay, cool. Well, if anyone's got ideas about what they'd like to be able to generate in Steam, then yeah, please put them forward, because we're definitely open to ideas on that sort of thing.
So I guess one of the big things about this game is why squares?
Yeah, well, that's something we spoke with our artist about recently. Someone else had a similar question, and his answer is basically, well, because, he just came up with it one day. And that for Square Off, we were actually entering it in Microsoft's Dream Build Play competition, and it was getting, we were actually going to make a zombie defense platform, a 2.5D zombie defense platforming game with story mode. And that was our plan, and we realized that we had sort of 7 weeks before the contest had submission day, and we had absolutely no chance of doing anything really good. So we completely changed our plan and went with, removed gravity, stripped back any graphics, and turned it into a sort of like an arena survival shooter. And then we were working with, when we said strip back the graphics, we had squares and circles. So the players were squares, the enemies were circles. And so I think Scott just used that as inspiration and turned the characters into squares. And he said that it actually worked well because it allows you to because their whole character is essentially a square head. It allows you to put a lot of expression. Like, see their faces when they get hit, and when they smile, they're quite expressive, and people really love that. And so I think, yeah, the fact that they don't have body and legs is actually quite an advantage there.
Now, in the main story mode, there's actually the AI bots that are characters, and their character design's a lot more advanced than what you have here for most of the online multiplayer stuff. And I was surprised to find that those guys aren't like characters that you can pick to play as in the online multiplayer. Have you had any thoughts about doing anything like that, making those different characters you can actually pick for people to play as, or are those strictly supposed to be specific characters for the story mode to put together?
Yeah, well, they are. That is the case. That was the idea. They were going to be in the story mode, and we made them the bots. So if you add bots in online play, they come in as bots. But we've been thinking about the possible unlocks to be able to play as those guys. There's one challenge there, is that they don't really work with the hats. They can't. They can wear hats, but the hats don't really all fit that well on them. So we'd have to do something there, like perhaps make it so you can't wear hats if you're playing as those guys or something. That might be the trade-off.
Another challenge would be the color, right? Because they're all kind of predefined colors. Changing them would require.
Yeah. Oh, you'd have to leave them the color, I guess. Yeah, and have the name change the color maybe.
I guess it depends on how much extra work you guys actually want to do.
Well, that's true. I mean, at this point, we're really focused on getting it on Steam, of course, because that's where everyone wants to be. And but also we're also talking to Microsoft and Sony about getting it on consoles, and that's nothing to announce yet, but it's all looking pretty positive. So yeah, and then I guess once we've started that process, we'll also be considering more upgrades like that sort of thing, playing as other characters, and all the other ideas that people have been giving us, which is cool.
I could definitely see this game working very well on console, considering it does have that local multiplayer ability, which is something that is very easy to do on console, as opposed to PC with controllers, and especially with just being able to go online straight from local into online extremely easily. I don't see any reason why this game wouldn't actually work on a console, or let alone be popular on a console, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, thanks. I mean, I guess it did come from Square Off, which we did design for Xbox, so that's probably why the multiplayer aspect, local multiplayer. Another thing is we really like the no split screen aspect of it, so you can have 4 players, and you don't have to worry about using split screen. So yeah, we think that's a good selling point of it too.
Right. So when you're actually playing locally, since when I'm playing right now, I can't see the entire arena, and you mentioned that you guys don't have split screen. How do you focus the camera?
Yeah, so the camera will dynamically zoom for all of the local human players. And that's kind of the reason that the arenas aren't all that large. Plus, I guess you don't really need a huge arena for this sort of a game. So yeah, what'll happen is if you have a couple of local players, the camera will zoom right out. You can actually demonstrate that if you die. Next time you die, if you don't spawn for 20 seconds, the camera should start to follow all the players. So it'll zoom out, and you'll be able to see everyone. And some of the bigger maps, they start to get a little bit small, but it's still quite playable, even when it's zoomed right out.
Yep. So when you die, just don't play for a while, and it'll detect you as away from keyboard. And
don't jinx me. I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna get a perfect for this round.
Jason,
we can help you with that.
No, please. I'm too pretty.
Get him. Yes.
So yeah, I see how it does follow the other characters around.
Yeah, you follow your skull, like when you're dead, your camera first follows your skull for 20 seconds until you spawn, or 20 seconds is up, and then it'll start to follow the other players or bots.
So it doesn't auto-spawn you, you have to spawn yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the things that I really like about the respawn system is the fact that it's both hard to camp and easy to camp at the exact same time. Really because it's kind of up to grabs depending upon where you're going to spawn. Since you don't spawn right where you died, you kind of float off a little ways and then appear over there. And while you're in the ghost form, other players can't actually see you.
I think they can see you, but they can't kill you. Yeah, so they can actually see where you're going to spawn, which is something that you know, potentially, if they were very quick, they could exploit and try and
you're thinking of the tournament. The bots don't have ghosts, so they just spawn
true,
somewhere.
yeah.
That's probably.
Oh, that might be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So it works pretty well since you don't just respawn right where you died or respawn where the skull fell over. You actually will like show up and go halfway across the map and show up on the other side, which doesn't really lead to a lot of spawn camping, which is a good thing because one of the last things, especially since your game's only 2D, there's not really a lot of places that you can go to try to get away from somebody if you do find yourself being spawn camped.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to spawn camp because there's, you know, quite a lot of spawn points around the map and no one knows which one you're going to use.
That said, with proximity mines, you can.
So it actually is spawn points. It just doesn't randomly take you to a different spot. So I guess in theory you could memorize where all the spawn points are, but that would probably take a lot of playing.
Exactly. And actually, it doesn't work with team games. Team games is random because it takes you close to your other team members.
Yeah, that's right, you spawn. It tries to... Yeah, it's a bit like Call of Duty there, where you spawn near your mates and your squad.
Oh no, a bit of Vera joined.
Oh, not him again.
We should play a gnome hunt. That'll be fun.
Well, after this round, we'll switch over to the gnome hunt. Because you guys, you only have a couple of game types in the game at the moment. Do you have any plans on adding more game types if you do actually get to Steam or just in the future in general?
Yes. Yeah, well, there's one that we're definitely planning called Last Square Flying, which is kind of the Counter-Strike mode, right, where you... in the team version of it, you would have a certain number of lives, and once those lives are used up, you just can't spawn anymore. So the idea there is that it would encourage people to be a lot more cautious with their life, because in all the deathmatch modes, it's basically as many kills as you can get, and it doesn't matter how many times you die. So that would be the opposite. You really just don't want to die. So everyone's going to be flying around, weaponing up, getting loot, weaponing up, and trying not to die, basically, because the winner is the person who's not dead at the end. So that's the main one. We've also had an idea where we added the final Alien King boss fight quite late in the piece, and it turned out to be actually really fun. So we're thinking it's kind of like a survival mode, but it's actually a team deathmatch versus the Alien King, and he's got all of the aliens on his side. So we thought we could add that as a more general game mode, potentially, where it's called Boss Fight, and it's kind of a co-op mode versus the Alien King.
That could be interesting. There have been a couple of games, such as Guns 2, which has tried to do the online boss fight kind of thing, and those work out pretty well. So it could be really cool for some sort of co-op, or even maybe have one of the players control the boss while everyone else has to take him out.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds like Crawl. Oh yeah, play as the Alien King. That could work well. Yeah.
Dang it!
Oh, that was
People are good at your game, man.
That was my first kill. Oh, jeez, there's a whole heap of proximity mines over here.
Let's all get that bit of Bear guy. He's owning again, and he's got the proxy mines again.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing of Square Heroes, is leveling up and unlocking all of your weapons as quickly as you possibly can.
Yes, that's true. Yep. That's what you should concentrate on, farming the aliens for loot.
Some people compare it to a MOBA because of that. It's kind of like your creep at the beginning, right?
Yeah, a little bit, except you can be the game rewards aggression a lot more than a MOBA does. MOBA, if you try to be aggressive too early, you are going to die.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah, it's definitely more, you know, a jump in and just kill.
Oh, man.
He's up at the top.
Alright, so if anybody has any questions in chat, feel free to throw them in chat, and we'll do the best that we can to read them and move on from there. What are all the plans that you have for the future of Square Heroes, outside of just trying to get on Steam in general?
Right, well, yeah, so essentially Steam, consoles, and then, yeah, so some content updates like modes, and community building. We want to have a website where there's forums and people can you know, can link up, and also like an online guide where it gives you tips and tricks, like the best way to play, best way to use all the different weapons, strategies, that sort of thing. And we had a bit of an idea about tournaments as well, so a little bit of an esports kind of thing where you could offer prizes for, you know, periodic sort of tournaments, which would be pretty cool, I reckon.
That would be pretty cool. So you guys you're really going off with Square Heroes. You're really making Square Heroes your kind of mainstay instead of using it more of a tipping off point.
Right, was a question more about other games potentially.
It's about anything in general.
Anything, yeah. Well, yeah, you're right though. Like at this point, we've spent 2 years on Square Heroes, so we really want to make it work and make it go well. So it's definitely our flagship at this point. But yeah, we're thinking maybe after Square Heroes, maybe a smaller little title. We haven't really planned anything yet though.
Man, those proximity mines are way too powerful.
Yes.
You can shoot them when they're in his hand, and then it blows them up, which is pretty cool. So if you catch him laying them.
Yeah, I saw that you can actually shoot them, but unfortunately, the explosion radius when it comes to this game is pretty large. So most of the time, when I shoot it, I get hit anyway. And that's something that I've been having a lot of problems with when it just comes to using any kind of explosive weapons, from the rocket launcher to the grenade launcher. The explosive radiuses are really big, and I get suicidaled quite a lot. Let's do some team gnome hunt.
Yeah, you do have to be careful, definitely. So you're going to create a gnome match now?
I am going to make a gnome match. What do you think? 5 gnomes, 10 gnomes?
Make it 10.
Yeah, 10. I think you can get through 10 fairly quickly if you're concentrating.
Any specific maps that you want to play on?
Yeah, Volcano. That's a nice big one. So if you do a team gnome hunt on Volcano, that would be awesome. That's
what it should be, so try and find it and join. I like how the eyes of the guy actually follow the cursor. That's really cool.
Alright, we're in.
I'm gonna need a shotgun.
So what did you guys, what did you think of when you were developing the levels for this game? Did you put a ton of work into the levels, or was it just kind of, here's an idea, and we'll put it out there, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't? The way that the game actually is right now, any kind of level design would probably work, since you can fly. I mean, you can fly around the whole place.
Yeah, no, it's funny. We put it out to our artist, to Scott, and he pretty much. He can make a level in a day. Basically, he'll well, not with all of the nice trappings and everything and the texturing, but like sort of he can probably put together the geometry, the basic geometry of it in like a couple of hours. And so he made a bunch of them, and we sort of played through them and picked the ones that were the most fun. And actually, yeah, you're right, that just about anything will work. You know, it's yeah.
Angels are mighty.
Probably the biggest factor is the size of them. You don't want to have them too big that when you've got, say, 4 people, you're flying around and you can't see anyone for ages. And yeah, some of them are quite small. And Oh no, nearly dead. Get. Oh, you're on my team, Pie Man.
Am I?
All right. So.
Am I shooting the people who are on my team? I'm doing that, aren't
guys, hang on, yeah. Red guys, we've got to concentrate on the gnomes.
I'm just flying around shooting people and I'm trying to figure out why I'm sometimes not killing them, and yet I couldn't figure out that this is team-based.
I think I did that for a little bit, so I was concentrating on the question. So we're gonna get
at the top.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would like to see for Gnome Hunt is maybe some kind of arrow that's around the side of the screen to point out where the gnome is. Because what I've seen so far, from what I've played so far of the game, it's usually pretty difficult to see exactly where the gnome's going to be at. Even though you have a noise that plays when it spawns, there's nothing else that really shows where it is on the map. Or on the game at all.
True. You do kind of learn their locations. There aren't that many spawn locations. But yeah, I guess you... Yeah, the sound, by the way, is also... what's it called? Stereographic. So if you've got your headphones on, you should be able to tell the direction it's in.
Maybe I can tell with my sound effects.
Go on, red team. Go red team. Go red team.
Hey, we caught one! Perfect.
Have you got more players?
No, three on three. Red team, top right.
I can hear you.
Don't tell the blue guys. It's alright, I got it.
So what made you decide on 3-on-3?
It was kind of the limitation of the networking, really. Because the bandwidth limitations, if you... at least with the... Because it's quite... there's a fair bit of bandwidth required because of the way that our bullets work. You know, each projectile you fire is a message to all the other players saying you've fired the projectile.
I love how you say that. Each projectile you fire is a message.
Yeah.
That message is, I kill you.
Metaphorically as well as...
Yeah, I'm sending you a message. Did you get my message? Yeah, so proximity mines. You really don't want to have too many players in that sort of a game. Obviously, you know, the massive studios can spend a lot of time and make it work, but yeah, anything beyond 6 players, and I think we'd be, you know, starting to have problems with our bandwidth usage.
Have you attempted more players than that, or do you have any plans to attempt more players than that in the future?
We actually tried an 8-player game and it worked. The other thing was, yes, one, the bandwidth, and because it's peer-to-peer, you multiply it by the number of peers you're playing against. But also the maps it's just too hectic. I think you'll find now we're playing 6 players in a smaller map.
Oh yeah, this is going to be crazy. And everyone will be able to find the gnomes in no time in a small map. Over here.
Oh, those melee weapons, they hurt so bad.
This is a good tactic actually. If you when you get some guns, you can soften them up with your guns and then come in for the final kill with your melee.
What I was doing a lot is I was able to get up so I could have the medic pack that will automatically heal me, and then just run around with the melee weapon. Because the melee weapon is actually really powerful in this game. That is very, very dangerous. Well, most of the melee weapons are really powerful. The starting melee weapon is horrible, but if you can actually get the strategy down, it's a pretty good thing to do to mainly use the melee weapons.
That's true. Yeah. That was another balancing thing. Like when in the early days when we were making it, we realized that when you run out of ammo, you'd have guys with running around with rockets and explosive weapons, and if you had no ammo and you were stuck on your melee, you really needed to have at least some chance of getting a kill. So that's kind of why the melee weapons are so powerful. Is that's because of that. Oh no, the bottom right, they've got the gnome. Too late. All right, come on, Team Red. Let's not lose this one.
Oh, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose bad. So when you die, you actually drop a bunch of money and the other players can pick that up. Is that the money that you have working on to your next upgrade, or is that just general cash? Are you actually losing money when that happens?
That is yes. That's what you've saved up towards your next upgrade. So basically, if you're building up your cash and you nearly got your next weapon, try very hard not to die, because when you die, lose all that progress to the next weapon.
That's your yellow bar.
Yeah, that's right, your little yellow loot bar.
Yeah. That's what I thought was happening, but I couldn't quite tell if it was actually quite there or not, because when I was playing before, I couldn't really notice, but I'm noticing now that I'm dying a lot. I think we
flip
got
side
to
of that is once you do unlock the weapon, you've locked it in. Oh, really? Has somebody disconnected? Oh, it's still playing for me.
Yeah, we're back now. Everyone stopped moving and flew into a corner for a moment. So.
All right.
Jackpot.
That's funny, because you're hosting.
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
why am I trying? Okay, over here, Pie Man. Let's get this gnome.
I got a gnome here. I'm gonna die. I killed myself and 3 other people. I'm proud of that.
Your teammate.
Unfortunately, one of them.
I always kill myself with this rocket launcher, although the rocket launchers and the explosives are really powerful. Once you unlock those things, it's a whole nother game.
They do use a lot of ammo as well, so you've only got a few shots with them before you run out of ammo. Sometimes it's a better strategy to actually not use your most powerful weapon, just so you use less ammo and you've got more of it.
Do you have more than one weapon at a time?
Right.
The only weapons that I've been seeing... Is there a way to switch to the other weapons you previously bought?
Hold down your E key.
Yeah, but doesn't that rebuy them?
No.
Oh, it does with your bags. The final weapon, you can keep rebuying, but your other ones have purchased, and you can use your mouse wheel as well to scroll between them, or even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
As your quick select, or tap E is your toggle melee as well. So you can either tap E for toggle melee or hold E for your weapon radial menu.
I was under the impression that you only had the last weapon that you bought, and if you wanted another one, you would have to actually use money to purchase it again.
No, it's kind of like the money system unlocks your weapons, and then once it's unlocked, it's available for the rest of the round.
Alright.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
The rocket.
That way I'm not always stuck with the shotgun that's close up and personal when having to deal with someone who's far away.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Oh, we did it. Nice. And that was quite a comeback, actually.
I also have to say that your announcer, whoever you guys found for the announcer, does a great job. He reminds me of the guy from Halo a lot. Quite a bit.
Is he? He's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's made the game, so much better. So that's Terry Anderson from VoiceOver Texas. Guy from Texas, Terry Anderson. He's a champ. Anyone needs voice acting should look him up. Shouts out to Terry.
He does all the dialogue in the tournament as well. All the scientists, for example, which is kind of a German-English accent somewhere in between. He does that really well.
Yeah, there's some voice acting in the game, but there's also a lot of text boxing when it comes to saying stuff in the tournament mode.
You notice that when those texts up, the bots are actually also making little funny noises. Like when you kill them, they make funny noises and hit them. So all those bot noises, character noises, he did those as well.
You know what might be fun? If you want to try the last level, the final level, the Alien King, we can organize that so you can play that. Play that now if you wanted to.
I would have to unlock that. I don't have it unlocked at the moment.
Yeah, no. So what we have, your profile is stored in the cloud. So you could go retrieve profile, and you can type in no match me. That's the one that you're playing against. That's me, and it'll send me an email, and I'll authorize it, and you'll be able to retrieve my profile and play with me, and I have it unlocked. So if you wanted to try that out,
he's offering to give you his profile, everything unlocked.
That's kind of cool. So if you wanted to play on an even playing field all the time, you could just get a bunch of profiles that are completely ranked all the way up, and then allow anyone to play them at any time.
Yeah, and there's the security there as well, because you do have to. It does send an email, and they have to say yes, allow it, and the other person will download it.
That's also the system we devised for being able to play on your friend's computer as well, or so. The idea being that it's a local multiplayer game, but you might want to play, using your, using your friend's profile on your PC, so you can retrieve it on there.
Apparently, some people are having crashing issues when it comes to the game. I don't know if people are trying to join our particular match or what. It seems to be okay for what we're playing here, so it's kind of strange to hear that they're having crashing issues. But hopefully that's something that you guys will be able to work on a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Please send us all the details. It could be as well they're playing the beta, which has ended, and they might be trying to connect to the new server and that. But if they've got the game from Desura and they're having any problems, please send all the details to us, and we'll fix it as soon as possible.
All right. So any gamer chick is saying those are on Twitter.
Yeah,
so I guess just
worrying to hear.
have those people who are having crashing issues advance their Twitter to
Nomic Studios.
Nomic Studios. I almost called you guys Nomadic again. I'm like, I know that's wrong. I know it's wrong. I'm not going to say it because it's wrong. We can try out that the boss fight thing after this match if you guys
Cool.
show it off.
Yeah. That'll be fun. I'm gonna have to open your stream then. It is difficult. I think there's less than 10 people have finished it. So
Oh jeez.
it's not easy.
Well, we got owned. We got owned.
Oh, yeah. We should have paid attention more. Yes.
Too poor to pay attention.
I'll step you through getting my profile.
All right. So I think all I have to do is press X here and then retrieve hero.
That's correct.
And what was the name?
No space match space me.
All right. Email was successfully sent.
Alright, I got the email. I will click the link.
So how many profiles can you actually have on one game?
Something like 9 or 8 or something. Yeah, I think it's 8. We limit you, so you just can't create infinite. Although you can delete them by clicking little X on the name, so it's kind of unlimited. Alright, that's done. So if you click retrieve hero again, and type in the same name again, which will still be there, and you should just get my profile.
Alright.
Wait, let me sign out. So, yeah. Yep, okay, I'm done.
I'm kind of sad because at the start of this interview, my KD was like 11, and now it's 2. Gone down by a
2.
lot.
2 is much more realistic.
Yeah. It's like, I was playing before, I'm like, it's at 11! I must be good at this game! I think it sent you another email.
Alright, I've authored that as well. So if you go...
Oh, I said he was signed in, yeah.
Oh yeah, so if you go again.
Yeah, Memories and 8-bit. This game is very, very chaotic, which is another thing that reminds me a lot of an arena shooter just in 2D. It's focused on momentum, of course focused on shooting. It's very chaotic. You got drops all over the place. There's both skill in moving around as well as shooting that you have to work on instead of just basic trying to snipe somebody from halfway across the map. So it's all really small enclosed areas. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot.
Thanks.
There we go. So now we're signed in with your beautiful rainbow afro and chicken.
Ah, you got him. Yeah, so if you go tournament, you'll see there's a big trophy right in the middle now, and you can spawn into the last level.
The art design reminds you of a lot of Worms. Yeah, that's something that I was thinking of too when I was playing this before. The art design kind of reminds me a little bit of a game like the Worms series a little bit.
Yeah, we've heard that a lot, and artist just says he just drew what he needed to draw, so he wasn't so much inspired by it, but just because it's animated cartoon art with the facial expressions, I guess that's why.
Oh, the fight's actually going to be in this ship.
Yeah, it's a twist.
All right. So this is the survival thing.
Yeah, well, it's a kind of mixed match. So all your previous foes are on your side now. You're all trying to kill the Alien King.
All right, we'll see if we.
Oh no, you're stuck with the chicken.
I didn't change anything. We're going default.
Careful, the alien's hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's one big departure from the normal deathmatch modes. In this mode, you don't want to touch the aliens because they do actually damage you.
Did you originally have the aliens designed that they were going to hurt people in the normal multiplayer and change it out, or was that a decision that you made early on that they weren't actually going to do any damage to players?
Well, in the original Square Off, they were, they were the enemies, and and then when we switched to a more multiplayer-focused game, we decided that we came up with the idea that they could be essentially like the bounties and loot, and so we just decided that in the deathmatch modes, it didn't really make sense for them to damage you. It's more although the big fat guys explode and they do hurt, so there's a little bit of damage in there. Explosive splash damage.
I hate explosives. I killed
Really?
myself. I killed myself. It's the first time I ever used the what was it, sticky bomb launcher, and I walked into my own sticky bomb.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Oh, the explosives are so good, but they're so dangerous.
Did you get a chance? It looks like we didn't even get a chance to see the Alien King there.
Don't remind me. Alright, so let's pick something different here. We're going to go with a different loadout, since we've actually unlocked a lot of guns that I don't have. You know what? I want to use that guy's loadout of flamethrower and proximity mine. Whatever that guy's name was, B something. And we'll see if that works.
Proxy's the easiest one to kill him. You just chuck a lot down a tunnel and then he might run into them.
So like I said before, anybody who has any questions for the developers, feel free to throw those in chat, and we'll try to answer them as much as possible. We'll probably call it a interview at the end of going through this survival section. So if there's anything specific that you guys want to talk about your game or anything like that before we finish the interview, feel free to say it.
I'll put the link to our Greenlight page in the comments there. So please vote.
I had posted it there a couple of times.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Did you just make that Greenlight page, or have you been going for a while on Greenlight?
It's been a good few months, I think. Yeah, things were going quite slowly there, but they picked up a bit. We're we're about 85% through now, which is sorry, 85% to the top 100, which is this little measure they show you in your stats, like how far you are to the top 100 Greenlight games.
I don't even know what happened there. Somehow I killed myself. I don't even know what I did. I don't know what happened. Someone give me a replay.
That would be a cool feature, but yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, we'll give it one last attempt here, because I would like to not kill myself. For once. So far, that's all that's happened. Oh. Gamer Chick actually has a question. She asks that she's setting up a Saw-like trap for the developer, and will place they don't fix the horrible menu system. Apparently, Indie Gamer Chick does not like the menus. I think they're all right, personally. But have you had any plans on working on the menus and changing them up a little bit?
That's probably because you're playing today. If you were playing yesterday, we just released an update overnight. If you were playing yesterday, there was an issue with the backspace closing a window, but it's already been fixed.
All right, well that's good to hear. They're already ahead of you. They're way ahead of you. There's more than just the backspace, so apparently she's not a big fan of the menus in general. I think they're all right. They've worked so far for PC controls. I haven't tried it with a controller. Is this game controller supported?
Absolutely, 100% controller supported. Xbox 360 or Xbox One are the best. If you go to the settings controls, it'll show you a diagram of what does what. We have had feedback. We would like the controls to be configurable, so that we'll be doing that in an update as well.
Oh yeah, that's something I didn't actually look into when I was checking out the game earlier. But apparently the game doesn't have like rebindable keys or anything like that.
Yeah, at the moment you have to edit a text file. You can do it, but it's not great. Yeah, of course, we'll add a UI for that. So
you got to do it old school.
Yeah.
Alright, so I need to make sure that I don't walk into the guys who... I think what the problem is, I keep walking into the guys who blow themselves up, and you kill them, and that's what's constantly killing me. There doesn't seem to be any way to get any health back in the survival section either. So that's a bit of a shame, since I'm used to actually being able to get health. Wait, can I get ammo back? I don't think I can even get ammo back while I'm doing this.
Yeah, so you'll need to. There are a few crates around the level, at the end of each of the arms, if you will. And yeah, careful of running into the aliens. They are biting you.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that I'm horrible at this game.
No, this is a really hard level.
I can see, because I'm using your level 30 profile who's completely leveled up, and I'm still having a really, really hard time. So, where all is this game available currently, and how much is it available for?
Yeah, so at the moment, just on Daysura for $10. It's actually, or on our website, you can go through the Humble widget as well.
Actually, the Humble widget isn't up there quite yet. It's still the Daysura widget, but yeah, same thing.
Oh, okay. So we will, yeah, it'll be on the Humble store soon, but yes, Daysura just at the moment.
All right. Well, thank you, Aranda and Mark, for joining me today from Nomic Studios. Did I say that right this time?
You got that right, but Aranda.
All right. Dang it! It's I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm well used to that. That's all good.
I'm really sorry. But yeah, talking about your game, Square Heroes. We'll put another link in the chat for the Steam Greenlight, so if anybody would like to see this game on Steam, which I could actually see working pretty well on Steam, feel free to give that a like. Do you guys have any contacts or anything that people can use to keep track of the development of the game or keep track of yourselves?
Yeah, well, probably the Greenlight page. If you follow that, it's the best way at the moment, because that's the one where most. Or there's also Facebook, of course, and Twitter. At Nomic Studios on Twitter and Nomic Studios on Facebook. But yeah, we regularly update that Greenlight page whenever anything interesting is happening. So yeah, follow that and tell all your friends, of course.
Let everyone know that if you play the online game tonight, you score a game from our treasure trove. So apparently Indie Gamer's Chick says that if you play an online game with Square Heroes tonight, you'll be able to get a game from her huge backlog of titles. So why not? If you ever needed more of a reason to play Square Heroes, there's one right there. And the game on itself is pretty interesting. I've really enjoyed my time with it, and I might play it a little bit more depending upon if I'm able to find a game or not. That's the only thing that I could think of that is going to be the most difficult thing for you guys, doing a mostly multiplayer-focused game, because you are an indie team just trying to get people into the game. I saw this happen with Cult of the Wind, which is a really fun game, but nobody plays it. So I wish you guys the best of luck when it comes to that.
Thanks, you're right. The critical
mass. Thanks, Megapie, man. Yeah, hopefully once it's on Steam, we'll have more of those features where you can invite your friends to play and all that sort of thing. But yeah, you make a very good point. We need lots of people to play it and play it regularly.
All right, well, but hopefully this interview would help get it out there, and we can help you guys with that front. Thank you again for talking today. I'm MegapieMan for the GamesMatter event from November 14th, 2014, and I will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Later.